When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
It matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Introducing Virtuo Up, the latest in a long line of innovation from Nespresso. It's innovation you can touch, sense, and taste in every single cup. With a 3-second start, easy open lever, and dedicated brew over ice button, it's even easier to enjoy your coffee your way. Sip for yourself. Shop Virtuo Up exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Advertisements in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session all about fatigue. And if you're not familiar with the word fatigue, it's more than tiredness. It's a physical inability to harness and access the energy or the clarity that you actually need. And a lot of the time, fatigue is accompanied with things like inflammation or brain fog, and other horrible symptoms as well. Quite often it's linked to autoimmune issues, things like Lyme disease and fibromyalgia. In this particular case, though, the client I was working with had post-COVID fatigue. And because of that, they felt very, very impeded by their ability to live life on their terms. And when you've tried to improve it and been punished sometimes by having a crash or a setback, it feels scary to have hope. It feels dangerous to be optimistic just in case you get your hopes up and come crashing down. And this hypnosis session uses metaphors of the savannah to help this client see themselves through the perspective of a story rather than themselves, and how the lion deals with different things. It has some fairy tale connotations, like there is a curse or a spell that's been cast on this. And at its core, this is a hypnosis session about reframe. It's about, in many cases, something horrible happens. You can either be a victim or a survivor. You can feel like the thing is a curse, or it could even be a gift in some way, even if you don't know what the gift is yet. And there's lots of different reframes. So what this session does is identify a lot of the disempowering beliefs or meanings given to things like an illness that is chronic and just seems to keep on going on, not a temporary thing. Most people can deal with breaking a bone or having a sickness like a virus for a period of time. But when things feel like they're going to be like that way forever, it can create feelings of hopelessness or helplessness or frustration or even anger and resentment, all of which can actually impede with the ability to heal and recalibrate. There's a bit going on here. So if you can relate to the idea of feeling drained, fatigued, you don't have the energy to even do basic things, I think this session will give you something. And what I would encourage you to do, and at the end, there is a panning for gold metaphor, because not all of these beliefs or ideas have to resonate with you. You can take what is resonating or helpful and disregard what isn't. Because the problem with empowering belief systems is it can feel every now and then that it is invalidating the experience. You have that connotation with positive psychology and self-improvement, that if you can achieve anything, then if you're not, somehow you are to blame or in the wrong. And that's why this is designed to be inspirational rather than feeling like, well, you have to do these things. It creates the idea of a possibility frame rather than a feeling that these are additional things to do. Because if you've got fatigue, having a list of more things to do isn't that helpful, because you would like to be able to do them. There's a bit going on here. Now, this was created for an individual client. Some of the suggestions would be perfect for them and not quite right for you. If you like the idea of working with me, what I'm going to encourage you to do is to look for the suitability test in the description. And there you can take a quick test and it will just let you know how suitable you are for hypnosis and explain what to do after that if you would be a suitable candidate for hypnosis. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, feel that wonderful feeling of release, as if any tension, stress, and worry is leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in that wonderful feeling of calm relaxation and giving permission to just let go incrementally of any feelings that are impeding your ability, any fatigue, any thoughts that feel like they're a drain. Just allow them to be released and feel them leaving your body in your outward breath. And before any story begins, notice the rhythm of your breathing. And you don't need to change it, but you may notice if each breath gets longer, deeper, or slower. Just notice it arriving and leaving. Perhaps there's something deeply reassuring about an exhale. An exhale is not effort. Consider it release. And as you allow this next breath out, give permission for it to be slightly longer than the one before. Not forced. Just unhurried. And as the breath leaves, imagine your body settling by a fraction of 1%. Not heavy, not sleepy, just less braced, less tense. Maybe your jaw loosens slightly, or your tongue rests more comfortably in the mouth, or those tiny muscles behind your eyes start to release, loosen and relax. And if there has been a subtle vigilance in your system, almost like it's waiting to see what your body will do next, give permission for that vigilance to just stand down, to dial down their intensity. And you are not required to perform here. No need to improve. You are simply here. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination can go on that adventure. So let's return to that wide African plain. Not the harshness of the midday sun, but that late afternoon light. Golden, low, and slow. And there is no urgency in this landscape. The grass moves with the wind, and clouds drift without agenda. And I wonder if you can imagine the sky and notice how effortlessly it changes shape. And nothing in the sky resists becoming something else. A cloud can become mist, light can become shadow, and day can become dusk. And I wonder if somewhere inside you, a thought can emerge, an idea that change does not always require force. Sometimes change just requires time and space. And as that thought settles, your body descends another level. If 10 is alert and upright, and 1 is deeply inward and safe, imagine what number you are now. And just imagine on every outward breath, you reduce that number by 1. Maybe a 7 becomes a 6, or a 6 becomes a 5. And there's no need to reach the bottom. No need to be 1 or 0, just drifting lower is enough. And maybe your shoulders relax a bit more, or your heartbeat feels less central and more background. And just like when you were a child listening to stories, I wonder if you could imagine being there on the African plains, overhearing a tribal leader tell a story. In this kingdom, there is a lion, not young, not old, strong once in obvious ways. The lion was fast, certain, instinctive. And then something altered. A strange spell moved through him, not visible but undeniable. The lion's limbs felt heavier before he chose to move, and the lion's breath shortened before the run began. And the lion's energy arrived late and left early. And the lion wondered if the sun had turned against him. The lion thought he was cursed, because curses explain what the pride cannot. A curse can mean that something external struck you, something unfair, something chosen without consent. And when the lion believed it was a curse, he felt angry, frustrated. He battled the curse. The lion forced movement, compensated by proving strength, ignored signals. And beneath the lion's paws, he found quicksand. And the more he struggled, the deeper he sank. Not because he was weak, but because quicksand responds to panic with gravity. And one day, the lion, exhausted from proving himself, stopped. Not in surrender, but in recalibration. He widened his stance, spread his weight, slowed his breathing, and something subtle happened. The sinking slowed. And very soon, he was out of the quicksand, but realized something that permanently changed how the lion thought. That this terrain cannot be conquered. Instead, it must be navigated. And as day turned to dusk, figures emerged across the plain, guiding him inward through altered awareness and separating fear from fact. Day by day, the lion changed, gradually. And for a while, the lion thought long and hard. The lion thought they were the lion that this happened to. But the sentence was unfinished. Instead of feeling like a cursed lion that something happened to, the lion felt that they were so strong, so resilient, that they were the lion who endured. Some inner wisdom, perhaps influenced by the visitors, but deep down nonetheless, knew that victims are defined by events and survivors are defined by continuation. And because the lion continued through doubt, through humiliation, through uncertainty, the lion concluded they must be a survivor. But the frustration was still there. This lack of energy wounded him, and that was real. But it also revealed which alliances mattered, which of the friends were real, which impulses were reckless, what they really valued in life. The lion learned which parts of his identity were noise and accepted they never wanted this. It impeded their ability to live life. But it did refine him. And at some level, the lion started to wonder, what if this curse is a gift? What if it's meant to teach? What if it's meant to benefit in some strange way that they couldn't understand at that point in time? And when he thought of the word curse again, it felt bitter, closed and final. But another possibility emerged. What if this was initiation disguised as misfortune? He knew that young lions prove themselves through force, strength, and energy. But seasoned lions lead through discernment. And what if this was not punishment, but an invitation, an unwanted invitation, but still a wonderful, powerful, meaningful catalyst. The lion thought of things in the past that once were problems, but when they thought of them as a challenge, the problem became more appealing. Because a problem blocks the road. A challenge shapes the road. Terrain is not personal. A hill is not betrayal. It's just an incline. And the lion began to see his condition not as an enemy, but as a landscape. Some days were firm, and others were marshland. Some felt stable, some did feel like quicksand. And every now and then he really believed that the spell was punishing him. But punishers wound without explanation, whereas teachers aim to guide. And what if this period of his life was guiding him, changing beliefs and values, priorities and goals? What if this season taught him when to rest before collapse, how to value shade as much as sunlight, how to listen for early signals, and how to ask for support without shame? Punishment destroys. Teaching grows. And the lion felt that he had grown. The adversity, the difficulty, had all helped him in some strange way. And then one evening he climbed that great rock, slower than years before, but steady. And the lion started to imagine a future. And that future lion seemed strong, resilient, powerful. And I want you to get a sense that some things are not good or bad. It just depends on the meaning. The water from a great lake can mean hydration. It could mean cleaning. But it can mean death if an animal drowns in the water. And if one thing can represent life and death simultaneously, isn't it true that this unfortunate thing that happened to the lion can hold more than one meaning? And when the lion decided to interpret things in the most useful, beneficial, and empowering meaning, they seemed to feel better. And when they felt better, they could do more. And just allow your mind to pan for gold. Anything within this story is useful, then keep it. And anything not useful, discard it. Keep what's good and leave behind everything else. And just imagine seeing nuggets of gold there in your hand. And then imagine leaving that tribal leader telling the story. But take the gold with you. And imagine floating all the way back to your present. And perhaps just one of these nuggets of gold will give you a lens to see things subtly different that has a wonderful ripple effect to thoughts, emotions, and even energy and clarity. And you don't need to know which one, just be open to wonderful positive changes. As you float back to the present, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.